Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket, or you're just happy to see me?
Yes, we are finally live. I can't remember when exactly you messaged me that you wanted me to watch The Little Mermaid. But the way you try to console me after you tell me that we're pretty much going to watch this shit is like, don't worry, the Barbie movie's coming up. So it's like I have 2 hours to go through.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this. Now, granted, I'm most likely going to do the same thing I did for watching The Little Mermaid, but of the two, I would rather spend my money on the fucking Barbie movie. And I'm glad I didn't on this one because, oh my god. Like, oh man, before I gather my thoughts, I gotta like take a swig because I got plenty of words for this movie, but if there's one word I would describe this is lifeless, as I was telling you, like backstage.
Mm-hmm. It was an experience, Mara.
Lin-Manuel should like not work at all ever again.
It was an experience. I had to put Mara through that torture. I had already been through it, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to share my pain. So I was like, Mara, hey, go see Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that she did. She literally did. And that told me that she had already seen it. So she was going to want to talk about it. So I was like, there's no way I'm paying for that shit. So like you're going to wait until I'm able to watch it pretty much. And I was able to watch it today. And I use able very, very loosely because, oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Initially going in, and seeing all of the clips already that were being put out by Disney and the songs and everything, I was like, okay, this movie, like it'll be mid at best. And
you thought mid at best from Scuttlebutt? That little fucking clip that was
no. I didn't even watch Scuttlebutt. Okay, I didn't even watch Scuttlebutt before I went to the movie. So I was just like, I don't know what that is. I don't get it. But yeah, when I was like, damn, it's not even mid. Like,
yeah, it's not even mid.
No,
we're gonna get into spoilers because there's like it's in the title, so I doubt anybody would bitch about getting the shit spoiled pretty much. But if you do bitch, well, sucks to be you because you did not read the title. I literally put in all caps spoilers because we're gonna be breaking this shit down. Because there's like a lot that's wrong with this movie. But I'm gonna say hello to the chat, starting with I see first off Ms. Martin uses hello, good to see you. I will be playing with D&D with her tomorrow, and we're pretty much wrapping up the Conan D&D campaign tomorrow because last week my character's part was done pretty much because I killed my aunt. My character killed her aunt pretty much, so hers quest is done, and we have like one more, well, technically 2 more quests to do, but one more major quest kind of to do, and then we're pretty much done. If we restart the next game, because we're playing Call of Cthulhu, and you know what, Steph? I'll DM you. You can't say anything, but I'll DM you the image I have of what my character is going to be like. You can't say anything. You can't say anything because I can't let Teresa can't know, and she's in the chat. But let me real fast. I'm gonna find the picture because it's on my phone. But this is a character I have to play. And it's going to make it very interesting. There's one word that gets changed in the top descriptions, but yeah. So that's the kind of character I have to play when we do Call of Cthulhu. But hello, Teresa. Trey suffered along with me because he also watched Little Mermaid. So yes, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Gravy
D.
Mara. You're getting to. So yes, that's the kind. So Steph, would we be able to stream that shit?
No. No.
So if Steph's saying no, you have to
Mara.
believe me that we cannot stream this shit. We cannot stream this shit.
Wow.
Mr. Bentham, hello, good to see you. Yes, I'm 8 away on Kick from reaching 150, and I said if I reached 150, I would do one stream, a stream singular in my Wonder Woman bikini. So help me get to 150 on Kick, and the Wonder Woman bikini goes on for at least a stream, pretty much. So yeah. You're surprised? Well, actually, I'm actually a corporeal ghost right now. I died shortly after tweeting that I survived, pretty much, because I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, it pretty much was the cringiest song in the whole damn movie, but there was like no life anything in that film. Orange Hat stopped by, says he has to watch Iron Man 3 to get his talking points for tomorrow. No worries, Orange Hat, if you're still in the chat. Have fun watching Iron Man 3, so thank you so much for stopping by. Really? No. Really nothing. Like, there were fleeting moments where I was like...
More than the animated version?
Like, was there anything else remake that you enjoyed more? No, I was like, no. There were fleeting moments where I was like, okay, they're putting an effort in here, and then just quickly just died the next part, pretty much. So I'm like, nah, back to shit. Yeah, I barely survived, pretty much. Super chat from Tatsu. Thank you so much with the super chat and the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Live yet dead inside. Yeah, pretty much. You look opaque for a ghost. Yeah, I'm somehow a corporeal for a ghost, pretty much. Soul Assassin. Hello. Yes, some mental damage. I have my alcohol right here. All right, because I'm gonna have to take some more swigs, I think, talking about this shit. I didn't fall asleep, but I looked at my phone a lot because I was like, okay, there's nothing happening right now. Okay, check my messages, things like that. Nothing. Nothing that keeps me remotely vested in this film. $5 super chat from Mr. Bentham. One thing I hate most is voices like Aquafina's, where it sounds like they smoke a pack a day. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Yes, there's only been one role of Aquafina's that I've found tolerable. Like, not necessarily good, but tolerable. And that is the second in the rebooted Jumanji films, because she plays like an avatar character in Jumanji. And the only reason I find her tolerable, maybe Renfield, but she's still kind of playing Aquafina in that role. But in the second Jumanji film, like, she's playing against type. So because she's an avatar, she has to take on the mannerisms of the person in the real world playing that character. So it's like she has to take on the mannerisms of Spencer the nerd, things like that, or Danny DeVito, like the grandfather played by Danny DeVito. So she has to play against type. So it's not Aquafina playing Aquafina necessarily. So yeah, like, she was like Tracy. Like, I agree with you, Tracy. She was fine, but she still at some points, like, I felt like I was watching Aquafina play herself. So she was, yeah, it is what it is, pretty much. No blasphemy. Are they playing pool or something?
Can you hear them?
I can hear them. Like, they're yelling. Someone's yelling.
They're watching the game.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You had to have Scream on the background to keep you awake. Yeah. Hey, Megatron. Hello. I didn't see the live action Aladdin, but I'll take your word for it. And this is my Twitch. Thank you so much. And another super chat from Tatsu. Thank you so much. Let's see. This is my live channel. Yes, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anyone. It's shit, Riker. It is shit. Absolute shit. See, I'm the smart one. I just watched the original animated movie and straight up ghosted this film. Well, I'm full on gonna throw my co-host under the bus. She's like, you have to watch this. And I told me she watched it and she was gonna want to talk about it. So I had to. Hello, Sean. Hello. It sounds like they're watching Little Mermaid back there. No, they're not dying, so they're not watching Little Mermaid. But anyway, and Hound just showed up. Thank you so much, Hound. Good to see you. All right, so Little Mermaid. Okay. Overall thoughts, Steph. Overall thoughts. Like, just before we break down the specifics on this film, which I hope, like, wish to God we weren't. What are your overall thoughts for this live action attempt at Little Mermaid. I don't think there was even an attempt.
I was dumbfounded by the things that they changed and what they stripped from it. What they stripped from the animation because they wanted to make it cater to a more modern audience. And unfortunately, by doing that, they stripped the movie of its life and its magic. And it pretty much told you, like, the people who grew up with the animated classic that that they have to update it because what's in the animated classic is just not good enough, right? It's not good enough for modern audiences. So they have to make some necessary changes. They have to rewrite Kiss the Girl in a way where Eric asks for her permission to kiss her. They have to not only do that, but they have to put a spell on Ariel so that way she doesn't know that she has 3 days to kiss the prince. So that way Ariel is not the one who needs the prince to kiss her. They have to take away the fact that Ariel sees Eric and, instantly falls in love with him. But no, instead of like wanting to go to the surface because she is interested in the human world, and on top of that, she wants to be with this man, and she has like this little schoolgirl crush on him with the statue, and she starts talking to the statue.
The statue looked nothing like him. Oh, like, oh my god. Yeah. Speaking of that, but anyway, like
they changed Scuttle for the worse. They changed Scuttle for the worst.
I'm right with you there, Haley. Thank you so much. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
They made so many stupid changes to the movie. They had to make her the hero. Unfortunately, like her friends play an integral part in Ariel's life, and from the way Hallie played Ariel, she kind of like talked down to her friends. It almost sounded like she was tired of them, and she would like make fun of them, and almost like they were a burden on her, and then not only that, but at the end of the movie, like they're supposed to help her in that fight against Ursula, and they're not there. They're there, but like they don't do anything because she does everything on her own. She breaks the necklace. They take away Eric's
They take away his heroic moment.
They take away his heroic moment.
Is steering the ship.
Yeah.
In the animated movie.
Yeah, they took it away from him. They took it away from him. They gave it to her, and Eric is the one in peril. She has to save him. They made so many changes that just altered. It's not the Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
it's not the Little Mermaid. It's really bad. I didn't like it at all.
It really isn't, and not like every one of the performances. Like I said, like if there was one, like there are plenty that I have to say about this movie, but if there's one word I would use to describe it, like I said, it's lifeless, because none of the performances had me invested in any way. In any way, and like Javier Bardem was like sounded like he was kind of like just like a half asleep when he was delivering his lines. I'm like, that's not a king.
Yeah, Javier Bardem. I was like, at the very least, he's an incredible actor, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, he'll be good.
And he was like wasted in this movie.
Oh, he was completely wasted. Yeah. He was like, it was like, shh, like he's asleep at the wheel. In this movie, he never speaks really like above a whisper. King Triton there was so much emphasis on
like when he's destroying her cavern.
When he's destroying her cavern, when he's speaking to Sebastian, he finds out that she went to the that she's in love with a human, and he's like, humans, what about you? Like he has a temper, and they don't want to show, for whatever reason. They turned him into some grieving widower, and like he's just sad all the time. Like he's just sad. And it's like, no, even, you know what? He should be even more passionate about keeping his family safe, right? That it should be conveyed through his voice, and it's just not. He's just sad. He's a sad dad. And I was really disappointed with that, because at the very least I thought, okay, Javier Bardem will probably make a good Triton. You know, the most that he like spoke was when he said, and it's in the trailer, he's a human, you're a mermaid. Like, that's the loudest that he spoke in the entire fucking movie. It was terrible. I could not believe how just crappy his performance was. The one actor like that I liked, and I it surprised me because I didn't think that I would like him, was the actor that played Prince Eric. Aside from him, Grimsby, and the freaking dog Max, everybody else was terrible. Like, I did not like it. I was actually shocked.
Like, it's like Melissa McCarthy's the only one like positive. She would be close, because she actually, of the actors, I would say, at least in terms of like, you know, like that King Triton, Ariel, things like that, Under the Sea, she had at least brought some personality to Ursula. Like, she was like, I didn't like
Melissa McCarthy was in a totally different movie. Like she understood the assignment, you know. Now I wasn't a fan of some of her lines, but I just don't like.
But that's not her
I don't like. I love the villain of Ursula, and I think that Queen Latifah played her a lot better when they did the live Broadway version. Queen Latifah brought it. Like, I loved it, you know. Melissa McCarthy was like, I mean, she did a fine job.
Like I said, like, there were some lines from her that I'm like, okay, that's cringe. Why? Like,
I think
I don't blame her for those. Like, you know, like you're gonna like read
the addition. I think the additional lines that they gave her, you know, like, I just gave you the premium package.
Yeah, like when I'm like, okay,
stuff like that.
Like,
they had to change. They changed the song, the words to "Poor Unfortunate Souls." Instead of like a contract that she signs, she has to seal it in blood. So she has to remove one of her scales from her fin. And I actually thought that another thing that was interesting was that, like, they took away, you know, like those creepy little things, the little fish things that she traps the mermaids in there. They're alive, and they're just trapped in that nasty little form. They took that out, and she just kills them now.
I'm like,
so she's surrounded by skulls.
And she sees all these like mermaid skeletons. I'm like, that's your cue to turn around.
Yeah, exactly. So that didn't make any sense. Like, she's seeing these mermaid skeletons, and she didn't turn around. Like, that is evil. I don't understand. That takes away from the fact that Ariel went through with it. You know, she said she was right. She's like, this is wrong, and she should have left, especially after seeing all the skulls. And when she's singing "Poor Unfortunate Souls," she even brings up the skulls, and it's like, girl, you're gonna die. Like, you're gonna die. Sure, okay, keep going. But like that, so that I didn't like that change. I thought that, like, her trapping them in this form.
At least to Ariel, she wouldn't know that they were formerly mermaids. To them, like, they're like, you know, creatures. Like, you know, like, I'm saying, like, you know, in terms of the animated movie, like, she wouldn't know that they were former mermaids. So like, you could like you know, you know, like, the audience knows deep down, like, you know, down, like, basically, don't sign the contract. Like, that's not good, and things like that. But that at least, you know, okay, we can understand. She wouldn't know, pretty much. But Trey watched it, and anybody else who watched it, basically, like, again, you pass literal skeletons of mermaids. Like, there's no denying that they were mermaids, because there are no legs. There are the skeletal remains, and you see the fish tail.
You see the fin. Yeah, you see the fin.
So there's like nothing that would tell her at all that like is anything but one of her kind.
Right.
And she still went, which kind of like really makes her stupid. It really makes her stupid. Yes, I know that she really wants to go to the surface, but at the same time, it's like it's like basically walking down death row or swimming down death row at that point. Well, pretty much willingly.
Yeah. And I'm with Trey. The rave show tentacles. like I guess that added a little bit more to the live action, but like it was so bright. I don't know. Like that was such a weird detail to add to it. Also, because they made it live action, the way Melissa McCarthy, like when she first, like when you first see her, it literally looks like, because she has her hands up and everything, and the way octopuses like walk on the walls, you know, it honestly looks like she's being dragged. Like it looks like she's just being dragged. Like
Yeah.
So the live action just doesn't work. Here's another thing. The live action just doesn't work. If you want to make a live action, give your characters some emotion. You know, it just it does not work for whatever reason. Like Flounder was terrible. Flounder was awful. His design was really creepy and
Off-putting. Really
it's
off-putting.
so off-putting.
Like,
So like they gave him
like,
lips,
yeah,
you know?
was bright. Like he stood out pretty much. In this case, like he looks like any other fish, pretty much.
Yeah, they gave him lips, and there's some shots where he's like talking, and it's like, where are you looking? Where should I look? That part where like she gets trapped and he's like flopping on the boat. It's like, dude, put him in the water. He's dying. When she grabs his little fins, it's like, oh my gosh, she's gonna pull them off. Like, yeah, Flounder's design was terrible.
And Haley says, is it just me, or when she sang the songs, did it sound more like she was auditioning for American Idol and capturing the essence of Ariel? Yes. I mean, like there was like she could would not hold a candle, in my opinion, to Jodie Benson. In terms of like the songs. She is a decent singer, but where she really fell down is the actual acting.
Exactly. So Halle Bailey, like I honestly, the way they talked her up, I was like, okay, she must be a great actor along with being a great singer, because the girl can sing. She's got a great voice. I can appreciate a great voice. She has a great voice. It's an amazing voice. But what's lacking is in the acting department. And that's very much apparent when she loses her voice, because from then on, you have to really like oversell everything. You have to emote with your eyes and your actions and everything. And she just does not do that. You know, she has basically maybe 3 expressions, and it's like, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's really it. And I feel like in the animation, you know, he kind of overdoes it when she loses her voice. In fact, it's almost to the point where I believe they like drew her eyes a little bit bigger, because they knew she no longer has her voice. She needs to emote somewhere else, and that's with the eyes. And everything is over exaggerated. So like when she nods, she nods like that. You know, everything is almost over exaggerated. And when she loses her voice,
you can tell when she's frustrated, because she just like rolls her eyes and does this thing. Like you can tell. You can like tell her emotions without her like saying how she's feeling, pretty much, and just her mannerisms. And like, I felt like when I was watching this, going, okay, 21 questions. Okay, are you happy? Are you sad? I feel like Dr. Evil. Throw me a bone here. What are you trying to convey?
I feel like when she's first brought to the human world, you know, you would expect her to be like excited, you know, on the ride back to the village. And she first gets there, and you would expect her to be excited, but she's just like, it's almost as if she's trying to do everything perfect and have the perfect expressions, and you know, and in that sense, it's getting in the way of actually emoting anything, because when you try to be too perfect, you fail in other aspects. And you know, she's like, it's very I just don't know.
See, the thing is, like, if all of her scenes were against a green screen, even then I'd be like, she should still be able to convey more range. But
and I believe that that's what hurt her, because all of her scenes were in a green screen, and
even on land,
that is not on land, but like under the sea, you know, when she's in front of the green screen, and she's having to act opposite of these nothing pretty much, you know. If you're not an experienced actor, it's hard. It's really hard to do that. And you know, it shows. It shows. I mean, I honestly expected like this amazing performance because everybody kept saying Halle Bailey is Ariel. She is Ariel. And it's like, no, she's trying to imitate Jodie Benson's Ariel, but it's not her own, you know? And in trying to imitate something and trying to do it perfect, it really hurt her. And the inexperience of not acting with green screen and her not being able to, like, you have to almost overact when you don't have any words, you know? That's why, like, with silent films, everybody's overacting in that because they're silent movies.
Not just silent films, but like just basically given my experience from like watching movies from different decades, you can also tell those who have stage acting experience because of the fact that they will very much not only emote in their expressions, but in their voice. Like you have like inflection. It's almost as if like, you know, because like when you're on stage, you pretty much have to deliver your lines loudly so the people in the back can hear. So you can tell like the people who've had that experience, and you can and fast forward now, you can tell an experienced actor from an inexperienced one. Because there are plenty of times with green screens nowadays where it's yeah, they're not exactly talking to anyone in front of them or anything like that, but at the same time they like, let's say like Ewan McGregor, pretty much. He basically said some stupid things recently, but at the same time, it's like he's done stuff in front of a green screen, and he still conveys that believability that he is talking to whatever is in front of him. Her, nothing.
Right. So the movie starts off, and I just thought it was really funny. The movie starts off with this quote, but a mermaid has no tears, and therefore she suffers so much more. When I saw that, I was like, no freaking way they put that in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
They basically said like the exact approach that they were going with in terms of like what they were doing with Ariel. Hey, Ian. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she is. Pretty much. But yeah, that is a quote from Hans Christian Andersen. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god. Like that told me exactly what to expect from this movie. Like she suffered.
So the movie starts off.
Feel for her.
Yeah. So the movie starts off. It doesn't start off with Fathoms Below. There's no music until she sings Part of Your World. And
so no daughter's a Triton song or anything like that.
No.
It's basically just a meeting where they, I guess, for like once a year or something, like his daughters come to, I guess, give him progress reports or something. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm guessing they have the same mother somehow.
So his daughters are from all of the different seas. He has 7 daughters from 7 different seas, and Ariel is his daughter from, I guess,
the Caribbean.
Yeah,
I guess, I don't know, because it had a very Caribbean feel, even though like there was no feel like that in the animated movie.
Yeah, so it's never like said outright like how many moms they have, and that's the explanation as to why they all look different. Is that they're from all of the different seas, and they all get together during one night for the coral moon. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, something like that.
Which is never explained either. Like, I don't understand why they all get together for this one special day, or what the day symbolizes, or what the day even is. It's never explained. It's just said we all get together for this one night, and I don't know why. We don't know why. It's just,
the thing is, I was like, I don't know if I was just like my eyes just glazed over at that point, or I was like just like not paying attention. But I could have sworn they just said the singular mother when they were talking.
Yes. Yes. So they all
have the same. That's why I was confused, because
I was confused too, and I was just thinking like, okay, the only way that that it would make sense to me, right, is that they all have different mothers. But Ariel's mother, and they all have different mothers, and they all think that all of these mothers are their mothers. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
like they
Maybe.
have 7 mothers, 7 daughters. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because Ariel's mom is dead.
Yeah.
She's dead. Triton says that, you know, the humans killed her. Like that's how she died. And that's why he has so much hate and contempt for humans. And he tells Ariel, you know, you're just like your mom and it got her killed. Oh my God. Oh my God, he scared me.
What's going on in here?
We're talking Little Mermaid.
Jay. But it's never really. He scared me. I really didn't see him. I didn't see him coming in. Oh my God, that was so funny.
There's a question up here. Hold on. Where's your question, Trey? Oh, Sebastian's accent bother anyone else?
Oh,
like
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Chad Triton. Yeah, he got around. Daddy got around.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that I can think
Yeah.
of, is that they all have different mothers, and all of their mothers live in the other seas, and that's where the daughters live too, because only the daughters get together during this one day, which sort of takes away from the family aspect of King Triton and his daughters, right? They are the daughters of Triton, a great father who loves us. Did I say daughter or father? A great father who loves us.
Yeah.
So it takes away from that. So like they're stripping him of you know, of that, and they're just making him a widower who's just sad.
Yeah.
And when they do talk to Ariel about her mom, they said that, you know, this is our mom. They call her our mom.
Yeah.
So I just I don't get it. The only other explanation that I can think of is that, you know how like when you know how like when animals give birth and not every animal looks the same? Like
Oh,
they're all
yeah, dogs and cats get knocked up by more than one partner. So yeah,
yeah. So that's the only other explanation, is that like they just came out different.
it's like, oh my God. So the mom got around.
So I don't know.
There's 7 different mermen. That's what we got.
Yeah,
One
like
of these
that's
things is not like the other.
because it is never explained. Like we just don't know. We just don't know. All we know is that they're daughters from different parts of the ocean around the world.
Yeah.
And they all get together during this part. Ariel's mom is the only mom that's referenced, and when the other daughters reference Ariel's mom, they call her our mom. So
Yeah,
like we don't know. We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't want to know. I really don't fucking want to know at this point. I was like, okay, somehow she popped out an Asian, 2 black daughters,
Yeah.
a white, a pale as fuck daughter down there.
Trey says that's my headcanon now. I didn't want to like say that, like, you know, but they are half animal, like they're half fish. I don't know how it works with fish when I mean, I would think that like all the fish look the same, right? I mean, all the seahorses look the same.
Because like tip fish don't exactly breed with other like species of fish. They kind of like stick to their own kind. So I'm like, but at the same time, it's like they're also humans. They have humans, so it's like,
yeah,
it's a thing now apparently. Like what?
I don't know.
We're trying to like deduce or decipher the reproductive process of mermaids and merpeople. I was like, what the fuck?
So yeah,
they took out the
I don't
Daughters
know.
of Titan song. So that's the first time you see them. Is like they're sitting around for this, like this ceremony or something.
So yeah, they took out the Daughters of Triton song. They all have like little. They're not even watching a show. They're just sitting down in a circle.
Yeah.
And I know that like they took that out. They said that they switched up where the songs took place.
Yeah.
They said it's because they wanted to focus on Halle Bailey's first song. They wanted to focus on Ariel's first song. They wanted Part of Your World to be where everything kicks off. Now, unfortunately, and they said they wanted to do that because they wanted the movie to like build to that. But the reason it worked the first time, the reason it built to that is because the Daughters of Triton, they're putting on a show and they all sing, and Sebastian, compliments Ariel's voice, and the sisters are talking up Ariel. This is her first time performing with all of her other sisters, and she's supposed to have the best voice out of all of them, and she's not there, right? She's not there.
Because they even kind of say
that tells the audience, so that tells the audience that, oh, I want to hear Ariel sing.
Yeah, like
let's hear this beautiful voice. I want to hear. So it already was building to that. By taking that out and replacing it with nothing, because they didn't replace it with anything. They replaced it with a mention of some choral moon. That's it.
Which who cares?
So it doesn't really. Yeah, they replaced it with nothing. They took it out and replaced it with nothing. Essentially, they replaced it with like a meeting, a family meeting. That's pretty much what they replaced it with, and it took away from the build up to Part of Your World, which is unfortunate. Also, Javier Bardem, when Ariel's not there, he's just like, "Where is Ariel?" Instead of him being angry that she's not there, and he like yells out, "Ariel!" He yells out in frustration, and
I had to watch the ending to the animated one. After I finish this, I at least have to watch something from the animated one to cleanse my palate, because fuck this movie. And just in like the little bit I saw of King Triton and that, I was like, far more emotion.
Yeah, by him yelling out, he's not just yelling out. Like I'm wondering if they had him play Triton that way because they're like, oh, he's just an angry white man. Look at him being so angry. And it's like, no, he's a parent.
Yeah, he's a
parent who's frustrated with his daughter because she's constantly not listening to him. She's a teenager.
Not listening to him and going to the surface, because he even like flat out says, like, when he finds out, you've been to the surface again.
Yes, and she's constantly going to the surface, and he knows that it's not safe. Do you think I want my daughter snared by some fish eater's hook? Like he's very mad. That is something that they changed in this movie that I had a huge problem with, is that King Triton forbid anybody going to the surface, which takes away from Ariel going to the surface, right? Because it sort of tells me that mermaids were going to the surface before he took that away from them.
Yeah.
So they were going to the surface before, and Ariel is just too young to remember that time, because her sister tells her, like, you were really young when mom died. So she didn't know about how they would probably go to the surface. So it sort of like took that away, because then after Ariel's mom died, Triton forbid anybody to go above water. So that told me that, so they were going above water before.
Well, because it should have. How Halle Berry like delivered some lines. It's like that she was taking after her mom. That her mom would go to the surface because she had, like, I guess, an interest in observing the humans and things like that. But before we continue, I want to say thank you to Ian for getting 5 memberships. Thank you so much. They went to Trey. Thank you so much, Sean, Zacharat, Riker, and Soul Assassin. Thank you so much. All right. So, but yeah, they told me that that they were going to the surface at some point because of that. Then that's part of the reason why the mom was killed, is because she had a fascination with studying the humans, pretty much. Like she didn't think there's anything wrong with them. She wanted, like, she would broach the surface of the water, things like that, and it's like, oh, did I miss your last super chat? Oh, sorry. Sorry, $2 super chat from Mr. Bentham. Someone changed Triton's beard with Jack Murphy.
Oh, I know.
That's pretty much how he came across. He got Jack Murphy.
And so, like, by them taking that, by them saying that, it's like, oh, okay, so do they have this, like, Ariel herself has never been to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the animation, they still have that. Nobody's allowed to go to the surface, but Ariel does it anyways. And that adds to the frustration of King Triton. He knows that she's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a problem with her going in the shipwrecks. So in this movie, right, he has a problem with her going to the shipwrecks and collecting human stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he has a problem with.
Which makes no sense.
Which is so much there's nothing it's so much it's like why you have a problem with your daughter just going and exploring the ocean, right? So like it's just an obsession with like collecting human things, okay? But she's not going to the surface.
It's like at that point I was like, so what do you care? She's collecting human things. She's just
collecting stuff. She's not going to the surface. She's just collecting stuff. There's no harm in collecting things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's not going to the surface.
We'll go into this.
Whereas if in the animation she's going to the surface, so there is that danger there, and that's why he has a problem with her obsession with humans. And because she is going to the surface, she might be seen, and that's where that frustration with him comes from. But she's just in this one, she's just going to the ships and collecting stuff, and she's not going to the surface. I don't understand why they changed that. It takes away from the danger and the frustration of her dad, and it just makes her dad seem like an asshole.
A very like a very overprotective asshole, pretty much.
Yeah, just an overprotective asshole dad.
As if sharks only swam around the shipwrecks, things like that. Like you're in the ocean, like you're going to be dealing with sharks pretty much everywhere you go. But like that's basically a danger that they would be used to living in the ocean, not humans. Is why it's basically why his frustration gets elevated. Like when Flounder's trying to defend like her not being there and accidentally drops the fact that she was talking to a seagull, which tells Triton there's only way that she could ever talk to a seagull, and that is if she broke the surface and like talked to Scuttle. And that's when he got angry, because at that point he was just like listening.
He's like, you went up to the surface again, didn't you, Ariel? How many times have we gone through this? And he, which again, it tells the audience that she keeps doing it. She keeps going to the surface. They're constantly having the same talk over and over and over again, and he can't get through to her how dangerous it is if she's seen, right? And it's that frustration and that lack of understanding. Like Ariel's lack of not Triton's, Ariel's. She doesn't understand, because she's like, she doesn't understand why a world who makes such wonderful things could be bad. She doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand, why it's so scary for her father, for her to be seen by a human. She just doesn't get it. And that's where the frustration comes from. If she's just visiting fucking ships that are at the bottom of the ocean, there's like, what's wrong with that? Like, you're just collecting stuff.
And yes, I agree with you, Haley. They not only changed her looks, obviously, but like she was she's
very condescending. Yeah, she's very
who's supposed to be her friends, pretty much.
Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed, is that she doesn't have that like little friendship with her fish friends. It's kind of like, you again.
Yeah.
It's like you're only around me as much as I'm able to like use you, because she uses Scuttle. Okay, so yeah, because she only uses Scuttle it's not like she's friends with Scuttle. She's just like, hey, you're a bird, you're with humans, what is this?
Yeah,
like,
pretty much. Yeah.
Like
and God, Aquafina, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so now we go and we meet Scuttle. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We go.
They change it from a seagull to another type of bird that can dive underwater.
Yeah, but those birds here's the thing. Okay, this is supposed to be live action, real, right? Those birds will go underwater and catch fish and go back up. They'll hold their breath. This bird is just straight up talking underwater.
Yeah, water. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I was thinking. Like initially, because like I don't know exactly. I can't remember what kind of bird it is, but I remember like I know I've seen enough documentaries to know that a bird is not going to stay that long underwater.
No.
Really, basically they just dive. They see a fish, they dive, they catch the fish, and they just dive right, and they come back
Yeah,
out.
just like she did, but like I think that bird specifically can like hold its breath, and it's very, they can hold their breath or whatever for up to like 20 to 30 seconds, something like that. But she's underwater for minutes and just like talking and explain. They basically do the scene where Ariel goes above water to talk with Scuttle underwater. That entire scene takes place underwater, which doesn't make sense. Like it makes sense in this world because Ariel doesn't breach the surface. She doesn't go above water. She's not allowed to, so she doesn't do it. But in the other one, it made sense because she is always going to the surface, right? She's always going to the surface. And when she finally like goes to her dad, and Flounder, instead of saying like, and then the seagull came and it was this is this and that is that, he was like, and he says something about the shipwrecks, and he was like, you went back to the shipwrecks. It's like, bro, the shipwrecks, like in the established opening shot, like the shipwrecks are just like right there. They're just next to the castle. Like, what's wrong with her going to the shipwrecks? If you really follow like where the little telescope landed and where the shipwreck is and all that stuff, if you like look at that, I don't think they really paid any attention to that, but it's in the vicinity of the castle, so it's not like, it's like she crossed the road. It's, you know what I mean? It's like that overprotective parent that won't let their kid cross the street. It's like she crossed the street.
Yep.
It's so
they dive 30 feet max. Yeah, not as deep as that bird did. Like that, if they were being accurate to that bird, pretty much that tells me that Ariel is like just about to break the surface if she's that close for her to be able to talk to that bird, pretty much. Speaking of Scuttle, why isn't they changed it so that way the bird could somehow dive underwater and talk to her that way, because she has not broken the surface of the water at all until she sees the fireworks happening, pretty much. I don't know why they picked Aquafina, why that so-called actress keeps getting work. I have no fucking clue why they chose that. And yes, I do agree. When she starts singing along to Under the Sea, that you're kind of defeating the purpose of that song, because it's Sebastian trying to convince her to stay under the sea because it's positive down here, pretty much, and she starts singing along to it. I'm like,
so we'll get to that, but yeah. So now she goes and she's putting her stuff into her cave. She sings "Part of Your World." Part of it I liked, part of it I didn't. She has a really good voice. The part that I don't like is that Flounder is very much like with her during "Part of Your World." Flounder is just as fascinated and just as curious about human things as Ariel is. He's with her going and finding human stuff, and he's with her during that song. He's her closest friend. So in the animation, when he's like, Ariel, are you okay? You know what I mean? Like, and here, when she sings the song, like, it's a great song. Again, I think I have a problem with just like the shots, because when she says at the very end of the song, when she's like, love to explore that shore up above, and it like shows her like trying to reach for the surface and she can't get there, and then she sings the rest of the song, out of the sea, wish I could be part of your world. So they established that she swam up to the top and she couldn't reach. In the animation, they show her floating back down to the rock that she started on. In this one, she reaches up and then it gets a close-up on her face and she sings the rest of the song and she's back down on the rock. It would have been it's more impactful during that part when she floats back down, because it's like, I'll never be able to reach there. I'm just going to be here at the bottom of the ocean.
That's a little conveying of depression, because she's like coming down.
Yeah, I'm always going to be stuck at the bottom of the ocean, always looking up, like I'm never going to be part of that world. Because they didn't show her floating down, it sort of like took away from the scene. Now, I did love Halle Bailey singing that song. There were parts of it that I'm like, why are you singing it like that? But
yeah, I mean, there were parts where I was like, okay, that's good, and then other part, like, like it's like up and down, like it's like I'm not. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about it, but it's like nothing, like hardly anything about like that song is hit with me. But let's see, Chunks. I want to play like the clip that I got specifically for Chunk to say hello. So,
Oh
yes.
my god, I completely forgot when Sebastian, not Sebastian, when Scuttle gives her the dingle hopper. And in the animation, she combs it through her hair.
Yeah, she's sitting at the table and she combs it through her hair.
Her hair in the animation when Scuttle first shows it to her. In this movie, because she has dreads, she twirls it like she's twirling spaghetti.
Okay, let's talk about her hair. Let's talk like now we're kind of like talking, like you like bring that up. I want to talk about her hair. What's with the fucking mix of the dreads and the loose locks?
I don't know.
I just want to like basically put her in a headlock and give her a shower because like, her hair looks so fucking dirty. Like nothing about it. I was like, oh my, there's nothing appealing to look at.
Yeah,
nothing. I don't. And first off, it also makes no sense because she's underwater and dreads aren't supposed to get wet.
right. I believe the actress said that when she did that, when she gets her legs and she has to do that scene, the iconic scene when she's coming up, she's like, I almost broke my neck because when dreads get wet, they get freaking heavy as shit.
Yeah.
And so when she did that, like you could see, she's like, I was struggling to do that because it was heavy. Her hair was so heavy.
And I believe it too, like I said, because they're not supposed to get wet. The whole point of having dreadlocks is like you don't wash your hair. That's why and that's like kind of what makes it nasty. And I'm like looking at her going, like pick one of the two. I don't fucking care at this point. All dreads or all loose locks. It was like a mix of the two.
Yeah, it
which made absolutely no sense. And it just like again like oh my god.
The design of Sebastian is creepy as shit.
Yeah, I know. Like
when he's like crawling, he's like a spider. It's like a spider.
It's like what works in animation does not work in live action, pretty much. Yeah. Hey. Oh, sorry.
I just thought it was funny that like because she can't really like comb it, she grabbed the fork and she started like going
twirling
like this,
and, like,
twirling it like it's spaghetti.
And I was like watching it going, oh my god. $5 super chat from Mike Hill. Thank you so much. It said her hairstylist cost $150,000. That's $150,000 too much, given like how she looked.
Wow. So now we hear Fathoms Below because it's Eric's birthday party, and Ariel sees the fireworks, just like in the animation, right? Ariel sees the fireworks, music's the same. And instead of having like that curiosity, when she was like, what do you suppose? And she goes up and Flounder's like, Ariel, Ariel, stop, or whatever. Yeah. In this one, it's almost like she's deliberately being defiant. Like, I know what I'm going to do. My dad said I can't do this. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it for the first time. There's again, because she's never breached the surface before, it sort of takes away from that scene. Instead of her being like curious, it's more of her being extremely defiant and going against her father's wishes, like on purpose. And like, yeah, she's doing that in the animation, but it's because of like that curiosity that she has. She doesn't go near the humans. She just kind of goes to Scuttle and, gets all this stuff, but she still breaches the surface. But here it's like, man, my dad told me not to do that. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go. So it and it's kind of weird because she's like, she goes up and she pops up out of the water, like right next to the freaking boat. And then she swims up to the boat and gets into the life raft. I'm just kind of like, damn, she did it, right? This is her first time. She's going as close as she can. I thought I didn't think that made sense. Like, I thought that she would be a little bit more farther away, especially being her first time. She just goes straight to the humans. I just thought that was really weird. But we see Eric and we hear, that's when they start singing Fathoms Below, and they sing it like as a drunk pirate song. Or a drunk sailor, not pirate, a drunk sailor song. And Eric is there. Eric is with his crew, and then Grimsby takes him away and says, like, you can't be with them. You're a prince, and you should, start. And he's like, it's my birthday, and he's just like, yeah, but you need to start acting like a prince. You can't be out there with them. Like, that's not a very princely thing to do. And Eric is just like, I want to explore. I don't want to be home. All of the extra characterization that they gave to Eric, all of his backstory, it was fine. They like made it to where it sort of mirrored Ariel's in a way, but I thought it was funny because like her dream is to go to the ocean or get out of the ocean and go into the human world. And his dream is to go out into the ocean and explore like other parts, And I'm just like, okay, so she's going to finally get on land and Eric's going to sail away.
No, it's supposed to go, oh my god, they're meant for each other because they're both trapped. I'm like,
he's gonna get on land and he's just gonna sail away, like, because he wants to be in the ocean, and she's already seen all of that. I thought that was pretty funny. I did like the actor that played Eric. I didn't think that I would like him, but I did like him. I thought he was good. And he has a really good voice too.
Yeah, he did decent as Prince Eric, pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't think that I would like him, but I did.
I think he would have. I
don't think that he looks like Prince Eric, though. I think that they should have cast someone else. But
yeah, I think he needs a bit more inflection in some of his delivery. But for the most part, it's like it was whatever.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. Now, what I did mind though is how they changed his story. He's not a prince. He's a prince, but he's not by birth. He's not a prince by birth. He's adopted. They found him. He was like a shipwreck that he washed ashore, and they found him and they decided to adopt him. And he's from a poor kingdom, apparently. And he wants to try and help his kingdom by opening the borders.
Yeah. Yeah, it made no sense, pretty much.
What is that song? Oh, that was me. Sorry. And going and exploring like other places, and I guess like establishing a trade with other places.
Yeah.
So that's noble, right? He wants to help his kingdom. That's great, but he's not an established prince. He's adopted. I just think that that's so unnecessary. Like what?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't see his parents in the animated movie because his parents are deceased. We don't know necessarily how, but they're both deceased, which is why he has to step up and be a prince.
Exactly.
Because of that fact. And in this case, they have him not only be adopted, but his adoptive mother is still alive. So he's really not. At this point,
they made his story try to like mirror Ariel's in a way. So his mom, because they're sailing there they're there for his birthday, and then a storm coming, hurricanes are coming, right? Yeah. A storm comes, there's fire to the boat. It essentially happens just like in the animation. Mm-hmm. And Ariel saves him, brings him to the beach, and sings.
Okay, I also want to say to that point, because she's never broken the surface before. How the fuck does she know where the beach is? At least in the animated movie, you could believe that she would know the direction she has to go. In this case, it's dark. She's not even broken the surface at all before now, and yet somehow she made her way to the beach conveniently
by his castle. Yeah. And again, when they're searching for Eric, it's like broad daylight and they have torches. Like, why you got torches?
I saw daytime. That like
it's daytime. Why you guys got torches right now? So yeah, she saves him. Everything pretty much happens just like the animation. When they find him, but this is what's different. This is where it strays. He goes back, and him and his mom are talking, and she, again, this is to mirror Ariel, right? Ariel has a dad, Eric has a mom. They don't show Eric's dad, so I'm guessing he's dead, and Ariel's mom is dead. And now his mom, because of what happened, his mom is telling him, you're pretty much on house arrest. Like you can't leave.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do your duties here as prince, which I don't know. Like he's not a prince by blood, so like he wouldn't really like be a prince. They wouldn't. I don't know. Anyways, maybe they're a royal family.
I don't know, because she's still in charge. She's like, her word is pretty much still lost. Like, what duties would he attend?
Yeah,
at that point.
So she's basically like, he's housebound. That's it. No more sailing for Prince Eric.
Yeah, she put the ankle bracelet on him. Some parts were pretty dark. Like, not just because it was shot at night, but they're like, because like, the poor lighting, I couldn't really see too much of what was going on. So I don't think it was as dark as people complain about, but it definitely could have used a lot more color. So, but yeah, so like I said, like it's supposed to his experience is supposed to essentially mirror Ariel's, and again, kind of beating it over the head to the audience that they're meant for each other. Yeah, they were trying to hide the bad CGI because there was some pretty bad CGI.
Yeah, that's why it's dark, because they're trying to hide the bad CGI because it is terrible.
Particularly at the end. Particularly at the end, and we'll go into like
oh
the
my
ending.
God.
Particularly at the end, because why it was dark, and I can see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so then like she goes back down, and Sebastian finds her.
Okay.
And
I also want to kind of talk about how the statue fell down.
Oh yeah, that statue looks terrible.
The statue looked terrible, but it fell down, so it's kind of like on its back, and then somehow it made its way into her cavern.
Yeah, it's not explained. Well, I mean, it's not explained in the animation either how it got to her tavern.
So,
I think Sebastian finds her, and he's trying to convince her again, like
it somehow found that it fell into the cavern or something. Because that's the impression I got. Because remember, Flounder goes like tells her, "Come see this."
Yeah.
Flounder's the one that points it out to her. But in this case, it's like somehow it got moved to her cabin.
So so now we get Under the Sea.
Yeah.
We get Under the Sea. Sebastian's trying to convince her, like, don't go up to the human world. The human world is a mess.
Yeah.
And Under the Sea it's the brightest number in the movie. And it's meant to be because it is bright in the animation, but the animation it kills it. Like it let's go. The animation is so much better. All of the fish and are dancing, and it's established in this movie. Okay, it's established that the fish can talk. Flounder's talking. The fish can talk. The crabs can talk. All of the underwater animals can speak. It's established. Ariel understands them. They can speak. Okay. For whatever reason, instead of having all of these creatures under the sea, probably because it would be expensive as shit to animate that, but instead of having all of these creatures under the sea, sing Under the Sea with Sebastian, it's Ariel singing along with him. And that doesn't make any sense because she needs to be convinced to stay below. He's like, stop worrying, stop thinking about the human world. Life under the sea is better. It's better. And so he's trying to convince her these are all of the reasons why life under the sea is better. And so her singing along makes it look as if like, dude, yeah, you're absolutely right. Under the sea. She starts singing with him. And then so because she's singing with him and it looks like she's having so much fun with all of these little creatures.
Yeah.
Her being absent at the very end when the song is over makes absolutely zero sense, because in the animation, Flounder comes, whispers in her ear, and then she leaves with him, and you see that.
Yeah.
And Sebastian doesn't know because he's having fun with all of his fish friends, and they're all singing this song together. In this one, they're all singing the song and they're all dancing. The fish aren't. Ariel and Sebastian are singing, and it gets to the very end, and she's gone.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
like,
she was singing along with you, dude. You didn't notice that she left?
yeah, why'd she leave? She looked like she was having a lot of fun with you guys. Why'd she just up and leave?
Yeah, and that's the point in the animated movie, like I said, where Flounder comes and whispers in her ear, and that's when you find out that the statue that had been gifted to Eric on the boat, like for his birthday, like that he didn't like, I guess, fell into her cavern, and that's where it landed. So it's like Flounder discovered it and like let her know, hey, and pointed it out to her. And in this case, it's like she's left.
Yeah, she just left. It's like, God, what a bitch.
Yeah. I think I was like watching this going, watching this going, okay.
Yeah, it's like, damn, she just left them there. This is all for you, and you just left them there. Where like in the other one, it's like she had a reason to leave.
Yeah.
You know, she had a reason to leave. But here it's just like, I'm gone. Bye. I'm bored now. See you later. There was no reason for her to leave. You know, Flounder came up to her in the animation, whispered in her ear, and she looked like she got excited, like, oh my gosh. And now we want to know, what did he whisper? Where's she going? What happened? You know? But here she's just gone. So now we go back to Eric, and Eric is trying to tell people, like, this girl, she sang to me and I want to find her. And he does like the Prince Charming thing where he dispatches like all of these coaches to go and try and look for this girl. You know, it's like he does like the Prince Charming thing, which kind of bothers me because I feel like they're pulling from other movies. There's another part in this movie where I felt like they pulled it out of Rapunzel or Tangled. But yeah, he does like the Prince Charming thing, and I'm like, okay, but like, how are you going to like find this girl? You barely saw her because when you see her, it's all blurred. Like, what are you telling them to look for? At least when Prince Charming did that, it was for a reason. He had a glass slipper and he was going to try it on the foot of every girl in the kingdom. You're just sort of sending these people out looking for like an image of someone that you think was there.
And it's like, what exactly are they asking these people? Like, did you pull Prince Eric from the water? Like, it's like, what are they asking these women? Like, how would they know?
Yeah. So then, like, Eric sings his first solo. It's a new song added for the live action, and it sounded like and I didn't say this. I got this from Jed, but Jed was like, this sounds like a One Direction number. like if you were to tell me that this is like a modern song out on the radio, like I would believe you. It sounded way too modern. It didn't fit with all of the original songs. Like all of the original songs like fit the movie. You know, this one just doesn't fit. It's too modern. It's way
too for a modern audience, remember? It has to be for a modern audience. So we gotta I don't know. I could see that theory, Haley. I could see that theory, but at the same time, I could also see them, also like when I say them, I mean Disney on their end, giving her more to sing because they were trying to push her as like Ariel, as like like, oh my God, she is Ariel, things like that. So I don't think she would have the star power behind her to say that she would walk. Pretty much. Yeah. I don't think she would have that behind her to be able to do something like that. So I see this more on Disney's end, just like doing that to push her towards like to the audience and like make her like like this is your Ariel sort of situation.
Yeah. So he sings that song, and then like I think after that we get to we have to do another political message about waste in the ocean. So all of the sisters are together. And they're cleaning up the ocean because of the shipwreck, and they're like saying, oh, these humans, they don't understand the damage that they're doing with all of this waste. Their shipwrecks do so much damage. And Ariel, of course, is like, I don't think that they meant for their ship to wreck. They're like, all of these corals, it's going to take them 1,000 years to grow back. Don't they understand that? I'm like, no.
That's no point of a shipwreck. They're not polluting the ocean. Like that, the ship sunk.
Yeah. So again, like our oceans are dirty, clean them. type of a
pretty much.
message. And then Ariel and the dad shows up, and I can't remember what they're talking about, but Ariel gets frustrated because she's trying to defend the humans, and they're not paying attention. Instead of it's that bathroom scene where they're all, getting ready, and they're all in the bathroom like getting ready or whatever. And Ariel comes in and she's humming because she's met Prince Eric, and she had this she sang to him and she saved him, and she can't stop thinking about it. She's like, la 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 la. She puts a little flower in her dad's hair, and he's like, what's going on here? And her sisters are like, Ariel's got it bad. Like, what has she got? Ariel's in love, and that's how he finds out. Here they're complaining about people polluting the ocean, and Ariel's trying to stick up for the humans, and she gets frustrated and she leaves out of that frustration. And they're like, what is wrong with her? And one of the sisters is like, oh, she's just at that age where she doesn't want to be around her family. She's like, you guys remember what I was like at that age? And they're like, oh yeah, you had so many mermen, right? Like,
like you a hoe.
So, you hoe. So they pretty much called her a hoe. And then her dad, like, sort of like, he's overhearing this. I swear to God, Javier Bardem was such a terrible Triton, because he hears this and he kind of like just goes like,
yeah, I saw that and I was like, like how'd it go from like her leaving frustration because like she's like, you're not listening to her, to, oh, she got man.
She got a man. Yeah.
But how's it go from that to that? At least in the animated movie, she's like, humming. She's like, like you point out, she put a flower in Triton's hair. She's like, she's giddy. Like, it's like every little fucking sign that would tell you that she has a crush on someone.
Mm-hmm. You just don't know who it is.
Yeah.
But here she leaves out of frustration with her sisters, and they're like, oh, she must be in love with someone.
Like, what?
What? That's a leap?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I was like, that was
you're
such
the
a
dumb sister, aren't you? I didn't get that from this conversation.
Like you were a breech birth, right? Like what were you? I was like, what?
So then the next scene sort of like plays out kind of like the animation where Sebastian tells King Triton about Ariel, and he accidentally tells her that she saved Eric, and that scene pretty much went along. Like, Sebastian's like, oh, you have to remain calm. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but Javier Bardem, like, I swear his performance is just not good, because he's just like, Sebastian, you're keeping something from me. And I understand it, because he's acting against nothing, and he's like, I think you're in love. Like, excuse me. He says it so quick too. Like, is there in love? Like, what the heck? I'm getting upset.
You are getting upset because she gets hiccups when she gets upset. And
I'm getting upset. And so like Sebastian tells him like, oh, she rescued this human. She went to the ship and all that stuff. So now Ariel and Flounder go back to her cave, and they've just been to the shipwreck, and they have some more stuff. And then this is the scene where King Triton is supposed to destroy her cavern.
Yeah.
Cavern. And a tavern. Did I call it a tavern?
Yeah, tavern. I'm the one supposed to be.
And he was like,
alcohol. But go ahead.
And it goes like, she's like, I had to save him. He would have drowned. He's a human. You're a mermaid. That doesn't make us different.
I was like,
and then he goes, in the animation, man, that scene like broke your heart.
Yeah.
Because she's collected all of this stuff. And he's just like, I swear, Ariel, if I'm going to get through to you, if it's the last thing I do, and if this is the way to do it, so be it. He's mad at his daughter. He is pissed off at his daughter because she keeps going to the surface. And now, not only did she go to the surface, she rescued a human. She held a human in her arms and rescued a human, the people that he hates, one less human to worry about. If he was to die, it should have happened. Like, that was his fate. You should not have rescued him. Like, he's upset with his daughter. Here, he's like, oh, am I going to get through to you? And then he just destroys her cabin. It's like, dude, that's some of the worst acting. Like, it was terrible.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my god. Like in the animated movie, like he absolutely destroys her cavern. In this one, he got like 2 shots off.
Yeah, he hits a wall and then he destroys the statue.
Yeah.
Which the statue, it was of Prince Eric in the animation. In this one, it doesn't even look like Prince Eric. Like, it looks like he found a statue somewhere and he's bringing it home.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really even look like him. In the, she's like flirting with the statue because she knows she can't go to the surface. So like, she's got this little statue there and she's doing like a little girly thing. She's like, wait, Eric. Oh, hi, Eric. She's doing like some stuff with, she's like, what did she say? What did she say? Oh, she's like, Eric, run away with you. Oh, she's going through like having these little fantasies because she's just has a crush on a human. And this is a statue. In this one, she's just like, oh, he has kind eyes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And you could tell from your position on the boats that he has kind eyes. At least in the animated movie, like she had a good, like she could see him clearly. In this one, it was so dark and like you could barely see from where she was sitting on the lifeboat. And finally, he came to the railing to look over and give his spiel about why he wanted to explore. And he has kind eyes.
He has kind eyes. So
and
then he destroys.
I remember
he destroys. He destroys the statue.
She loves him.
Yeah. She says he loves him. That's what set off Triton. Daddy, I love him. And he's like,
I'm like, oh my god. That's
what set him off. That's what set him off. She loves him. She's in love with a human.
Yeah.
And that set him off. And he's like, no, like how dare you?
Yeah.
Be in love with a human. It's like his worst fear come true. His worst fear realized, like, oh my god, she's in love with a human. That's now it's even worse. There's even more of a chance that she's going to be seen because she's going to keep going above. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's why he really wants to get through to her. Like, this cannot happen. And so then like he destroys the statue and all she's left with is a hand.
Yeah, no.
It's not the face, right? In the animation, it's the face.
Yeah.
It's a hand.
A hand.
She's holding a hand. Like, what the heck?
My dirty mind could go to so many places, but I'm not going to go there right now. But that's all that's left of the statue is a fucking hand. Oh my god.
It's a hand. So then, like, her dad leaves. And in the animation, this is one of the best parts of that scene, right? Because he just did this to his daughter and he hates himself for it. Yeah. Just like any parent would. You get mad at your child because you're trying to teach them a lesson and you're angry. Like, every bone in your body, your child has pushed you to the limits where you are frustrated and angry and you lash out and you're like, he like destroyed what she collected, right? And he's leaving and he has that pause as he's leaving in the animation. He's mad and then he looks back and he's just like,
well, because he's crying. So it's like now, like, he's like,
like you can tell he regrets it. He feels terrible, but it was necessary. He needed to do it. And this one, he just walks away. There's not, you don't get that like look back, not that he feels terrible. Like he just destroyed his daughter's, little area. And you don't get that. He just walks away.
Yeah.
So then you see Ursula.
Like, Ursula's been watching her this entire time.
Yeah, Ursula's been watching her.
Conniving, and now finally she's like makes her move essentially.
Yeah. So now she's made her move, and Flotsam and Jetsam are like twirling or swimming in a circle, and you see Ariel. So instead of Flotsam and Jetsam, and that kills me. Like, why aren't these fish talking? Why aren't these eels talking? You've already established that they can talk. How come you're picking and choosing which ones can talk and which ones can't? What the heck? Like, that's what frustrated me. Like, these two eels are the ones that are supposed to be like slithery, creepy creatures. Like, they are Ursula's henchmen. and they're the ones that convince Ariel to go and see Ursula. And by doing that, it takes away from like Ariel's reveal of Ursula, because now she's basically making a phone call to her, like FaceTiming Ariel right now.
Yeah.
And it sort of takes away from her first meeting with Ariel, because Ariel's already looking at her. Ariel's already, seeing what she looks like, right? So then when she finally meets her and she's like, "You're not at all what I expected from what my father described you." I was like, "Bitch, you just saw her. Did you just not FaceTime her right now? You already just saw her. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're not what I thought you would be? Like, you just saw her." Like that line made no sense.
No, it didn't.
It would have made more sense had Flotsam and Jetsam done, had they done that, like given them actors to play Flotsam and Jetsam and have the eels talk, because that's what they did in the animation. The eels were the ones that were talking to Ariel and had her convince her to go see the Sea Witch. So yeah, it was just stupid. I was just kind of like, what the heck? Did you forget that you just FaceTimed her with Ursula? What are you talking about? You're not what I expected you to look like.
I'm like, she really has a memory of a goldfish. I'm like, you literally just talked to her, and you're following Flotsam and Jetsam to her. So, would you breathe in an air bubble and it just kind of like fucked your mind up between there and where Ursula lived or something? Like what? Fire Super Chat from Mike Hill. Unlike the animation, did this version explain how the statue was moved? No, it didn't.
Mm-mm.
It didn't.
Nope.
It did not explain how it was moved to her cavern.
Yeah. So she goes and sees Ursula. Ursula sings "Poor Unfortunate Souls." There are parts in that, like Melissa McCarthy, I felt like she was just yelling that song. She wasn't singing that song. She was just yelling it. She's convincing her to go to the human world. And again, they changed it to where Ursula murders these mermaids. They should have kept it to where the mermaids were trapped in that gross little form. They should have kept that, but I don't know. They should have kept it like that. Like she's trapping these mermaids in this form. Because that's creepy. Like that's fucking creepy, that creeped me out. I'm like, ew, what are these things?
Yeah,
and Ariel doesn't know what these things are either. She's sort of like seeing them for the first time. She has no idea what these little things are.
Yeah.
And they try to stop her from going and seeing Ursula. Like they wrap themselves around her. Like, no, don't go and see her. They're trying to protect her because they are mermaids.
Yeah.
They're trapped mermaids, and they see another mermaid going to Ursula, and they try and stop her from going in.
Yeah.
In this, it's the guys. They're out. They're watching a game like right here next to my room. In this, like, I have no idea what's grabbing onto her, but it's not that.
No, it's not that, because you clearly see the skeletal remains of mer people.
Yeah.
As
so
she's
just
swimming
random shit. Just random shit is grabbing onto her.
But again, like, it makes sense in the animated film because she does not know what these creatures are. To her, they're just these creepy little beings that are like stuck at the bottom of this ship that are trying to grab onto her. She has no idea what Ursula has done to her own kind, but you can't mistake the skeleton of a half human, half finned remains. And she's swimming past this stuff, going to see Ursula, and I'm like, okay, red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag, and yet she still goes. Because she wants to be a human, but at the same time it's like everything is telling her to turn around, and she still goes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Anton Mando.
Yeah,
the animal she does at the end. Right. We'll get into that. What happens in the live action? We'll get into what happens in the live action. But yeah, she does turn her father into one of those creatures.
Yeah, she turns her father into one of those creatures, which made more sense than what actually happened.
I was like, I watched what happened. We'll get into it when it gets there, but I remember watching and going, okay, that happened.
So yeah, she sings Poor Unfortunate Souls. Instead of having a scroll, she has to give a little a scale from her fin. And Ursula convinces her. She does it. She becomes human. And she can't breathe, and so she has to swim to the very top. I was amazed at her, how she can swim.
Yeah.
Being transformed into a human. Like, she already knows how to tread water and shit, because she goes to the very top of the surface.
You can use your legs to swim to the surface, but can't walk.
Yeah, she can use her legs to swim. Right? She swims to the surface. In the animation, her friends help pull her up.
Yeah.
Flounder and they even say, come on, they need to help her up.
Yeah.
Otherwise she's going to die because she can't breathe. They help pull her up. In here, she does it herself. She swims to the top by herself. Yeah. And not only that, like, she's up, she gets that breath, and she's there treading water. I know how to tread water, okay?
Yeah. She needed the blood or something. She needed the blood. That's why she had to have like a fresh scale pulled off or something in this movie, rather than just signing a binding contract like in the animated film.
Yeah. So she's treading water, and and they can't help her swim, right? Because they're the smallest fucking crab in the world and the tiniest, skinniest fucking fish. They can't do shit. But in the animation, she holds on to Flounder, and because she can't swim. Even in the animation, she can't swim. She has to, at the very end of the film, they attach Flounder to a barrel, and she's holding on to it.
Yeah.
And Flounder has to take her to the boat, to the ship. She can't swim, but here she can swim. She's treading water, and Sebastian tells her, like, well, let's go swim like your lives depend on it. And she swims. She swims. She can still swim with legs.
We'll get into our final rating in a bit, TD. We're not even halfway through the movie at this point. But yeah, somehow she knows how to swim. Yeah, they did change the lyrics. Like, they changed the lyrics in Poor Unfortunate Souls. They changed things that they added songs in the movie, and it's like why?
So she's swimming, and then she gets caught in a net, a fisherman's net, which...
See you, Trey.
How did this fisherman not see her? She's right there next to the boat. But she gets caught in a fisherman's net, and he catches her on accident. He didn't notice her. And then he takes her to the castle to get cleaned up. She can't walk. She can't walk. She can swim, but she can't walk. And she can't walk, and they think it's a good idea to put her in heels.
I saw that, and I was like,
so
we had this big scene where she just takes the shoes off. She's her own woman, so she's not gonna wear those patriarchal shoes or anything like that.
Yeah, there's a scene where she does that. They put her in heels, and she's constantly taking those shoes off. She's taking the heels off. She does it twice. So they put her in heels. They put her in this dress. That's awful. I don't like the new dress. It's really bad. So they put her in this dress, and they tell Prince Eric, like, there's this girl. She just washed up ashore. She might be the girl you're looking for. He comes. She can't speak. And during all of this time, this is where she's supposed to be really acting and selling it. But she's not. She's seeing all this new stuff for the very first time, and she's singing in her head. So it's a new song.
Yeah, first time or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So she's singing in her head, and then she actually sings out loud, but it's in her head.
Yeah.
And then Prince Eric comes. She can't talk to him, so he's like, you're not the one that I thought you were, right? And so he walks out, and she's having regrets. She's like, I traded in my voice. I can't speak. What have I done? And then Sebastian, they took away the whole chef scene.
Yeah,
that whole scene is gone. Yeah. So instead of having
a cage.
Yeah, so instead of having that, Sebastian's in a cage. He climbs out of the cage, and he climbs up the castle wall to her window.
Like, somehow he has that much strength in his little claws to hoist himself up like at least 2 levels to get to her and somehow knew where she was.
Yeah. He always finds her. Sebastian always finds her. So yeah, so that happened. And he tells her, like, hey, don't worry, we got three days.
Happy birthday.
Don't forget the kiss. And she kisses Sebastian, and she's like, no, you have to kiss the prince. And she's like,
okay. Well, she puts him down.
And he goes, hello, are you listening to
hello.
me? And he puts her down, and he's like, oh no, she cast a spell on you. You don't remember. Before that, though, we got some exposition that explains that from Ursula. So it's explained to us twice that Ursula cast a spell on her to where she won't remember that she needed to kiss Eric in 3 days. So it's explained to us twice.
Yeah, he's still Jamaican, but it comes across as like someone
doing a
Jamaican accent rather than actually be Jamaican.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so then she falls asleep, and Scuttle comes in and talks to Sebastian, and he's like, she's like, Flounder told I can't say he because Scuttle's a girl now. Flounder told me everything that happened. So is Ariel gonna kill that prince? Scuttle's stupid. Okay. Yeah. Scuttle's dumb. And they're like, she doesn't have to kill him. She has to kiss him. And she's like, where's Ariel now? And Ariel's gone. And so now Sebastian has to go and find her. And he does. He searched the entire fucking castle and happened to find her. And Ariel's exploring the castle. She took off her shoes. She's walking around barefoot. And she finds Prince Eric's collection room. So she has a collection, and so does he. And that's how they start bonding, right? She can't speak. So he starts teaching her about stuff, and she's very interested in it. That part was actually good, where she's like, she picks up a map and she's like, and he starts, but I think that part of the scene was good because of Eric. That actor was actually really, really good, and he carried that scene. And then he's not supposed to leave the castle grounds, but he wants to give her a tour of the kingdom. So that scene plays out. And that's where I thought that like they pulled from Tangled. The part where she finally enters the city and she's like getting all this new stuff. And, Flynn is like buying it for her, and he sees her and he's watching her and she's dancing, and then they dance together and then they fall and they laugh. And I was like, that scene is here in the Little Mermaid movie. Like she's going off and exploring and finding new things, and he loses her, and he's buying stuff for her, and he's watching her, and she's watching her dance, and he's laughing at her, and he's smiling. She's in her heels, and she sees someone in sandals, and she's like, and then in the next scene, she's wearing the sandals.
Yeah.
She took off those patriarchal heels.
Heels, yeah, pretty much.
And she puts on some sandals. And then they're in the boat and Sebastian tells them like, hey, she doesn't remember that she has to have the prince kiss her. So we need to help her. And then Scuttle sings his song. And remember in the animation, he's like, wah, 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 wah. And he's just singing. In this one, she's going bow chicka bow wow chicka bow wow bow chicka bow wow chicka bow wow, and I'm just like, what the heck?
My ears were bleeding during that. We normally do talk nerdy, but this one we're dedicating to tearing apart this shit movie.
Yeah.
But next week we will be like back to what we normally do, and that is like actually talking nerdy. So yeah.
So then they do kiss the girl. It's not very good. The part where Eric figures out her name, like he's explaining the constellations to her, and he's like, look, that's Aries, that's whatever, that's the different constellations to her. And he's like, I feel so bad, and he tries to guess her name, and she points to the constellation Aries, and he's like, Aries. Oh no, he says sky.
Yeah, sky.
Aries. And she's like, Aries. And he's like, Ariel. I was like, seriously? Yeah. That's how he guessed her name. It was so stupid.
When he was doing that, I was like, oh my god.
Ariel. He's like, Ariel. That's actually a pretty name.
Mando, yeah, Dan. That's how he guesses her name. No, it is basically ingrained in my head right now because I
Yeah.
post-traumatic stress disorder. So I like it's that bad.
This
Yeah.
movie, Ethereal Dragon, says, I hear the three new songs are bad and it drags at times in the first half. It drags. You really feel that extra hour that they tacked onto this movie. This movie
Mhm.
dragged so much. This movie
It-
dragged. So anyways, they almost kiss, and it happens just like in the animation. Flutsman and Jetsam are there, and they
Capsize the boat to
they
stop
capsize
it.
the boat. Yeah. And then Ursula sees this, and Ursula doesn't understand why and how Ariel can almost get the kiss when she doesn't have her siren song. Like, that's what
It's
she
like-
calls it. She calls it the
because of
siren.
siren song. Completely missing the point of the siren song, pretty much. Because the
Yeah.
siren song in mythology is basically to lure sailors to their doom. It's not to make like it's not like
Make
her
people
theme.
fall in love with you.
Like,
Yeah,
it's not. She was calling it that, going, it's not the. It's like, why are you calling it that? It's not. It's just like it's just that she's a really pretty voice. That's it. The sirens aren't a positive thing.
No. So Ursula is getting really upset and she can't find the potion that she needs. That scene was pretty stupid. She's like,
Yeah.
where is it? Where's the potion? And her tentacles almost act like
Independent
independent of her. Like they have their own thoughts, kind of like Doc Ock's tentacles.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they're acting. They're like finding it and they're like
tapping her on the shoulder.
Tapping her on the shoulder, like, hey, is this it? No, that's not it. Hey, is this it? No, that's not her. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
How instead of having like extra little limbs, you know, it's like they have their own minds as well, which
Yeah.
is so freaking odd. So then she's like, I can't find it. Oh, here it is.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
So then she turns herself into Vanessa. And Grimsby is talking to Eric and he's like, hey, they didn't find the girl. Do you want us to send out the carriages tomorrow to look for the girl? And he's like, no. And Grimsby sort of like gives him that talk that he gives him in the animation, you know, and Eric is, you know, thinking about Ariel or not Ariel. Yeah. He's thinking about the girl and he's thinking about Ariel. And then he makes the decision just like in the movie or in the animation to choose Ariel. And then he hears the song and he hears it and he's again luring. This time it's sort of like used as a siren song.
Yeah.
Right. Because she's using it to lure Eric. And so Eric is looking for this voice, like, where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? And you finally see, my watch. You finally see Vanessa, and you see like her little necklace glowing. And I thought it was interesting, like the glow, it shows it in his eyes too. So that pretty much plays out how it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the next fucking scene, which is the worst scene in the entire movie. It is the worst song.
I just want to answer this question. Yes, she did cast a spell on Ariel to make her forget that she had to get Eric to kiss her.
Yeah.
Which is like, doesn't make any sense. But anyway. Yeah, she did cast a spell.
You get the
worst fucking song ever.
You get the scuttlebutt in the next scene. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is the worst song in the entire movie. If you have not heard the scuttlebutt song, good on you. Never look it up. Never listen to it. Just go without hearing this fucking song. And like it just gets worse and worse the longer it goes on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then Sebastian gets in on it and he starts singing the scuttlebutt along with Scuttle, and so they're both rapping. It's a rap. They put a rap in the Little Mermaid. Like, what the hell? They put a rap in the Little Mermaid. God, it was so bad. It was so bad. They put a rap in the Little Mermaid. So then Ariel's really excited because in the Scuttlebutt song, she's saying that like Prince Eric is going to marry this girl that he found. She doesn't really explain like who this girl is, but Ariel thinks it's her. And so Ariel gets up, she gets dressed, and she's like looking at them like, and the song is over, and she like, she puts a blanket over them to shut them up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, this girl is a dick to her friends. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
So then Ariel goes and she sees that like that it's not her, it's actually Eric and Vanessa. And what's interesting is like Grimsby has a chat with Eric and he's like, hey, what happened? I thought this isn't like you, Eric. Like, what is going on with you? And Eric is like, I don't know. I know it is. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know. So you can kind of see that like the he's not that hypnotized. Like he's hypnotized, but not to where he was in the animation. The animation, he's like, yes, we wish to be married as soon as possible. He's almost like a robot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, in this one, he's just like, yeah, I'm making these decisions and I just don't understand why type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having a wedding, they have an engagement party. Okay. And this takes away from like the urgency of the scene, because if it's just an engagement party, like sometimes engagements break up, sometimes they don't last, you know. So but with it being a wedding, there's urgency there. Ariel needs to get there before he's married, you know. There's that urgency. Okay,
because it was on a boat.
It's on a boat. Yeah, and it's on a boat. Here they're just having an engagement party in the castle.
Yeah, which I was like, okay.
You know, it sort of takes away from the struggles that, you know, that she needs to like get to the boat and stall the wedding. And this really gives her friends nothing to do. Like they're like, we need to stall this engagement. But like in the animation, what's awesome is that like it gave Scuttle something to do. You know, Scuttle came in clutch, man. He was like, stall the wedding. He's like, what do I do? Oh, I have an idea. And he gets everybody to come and help stall the wedding. Like you see all of these creatures and they're just like, what the heck is going on? Yeah. You know, and Scuttle is fighting with Vanessa. Like, give me that fucking necklace. Like he's going at her.
Scuttle goes after Vanessa in this movie, but at the same time, it's like just Scuttle, where it's like,
yeah, it's just Scuttle.
In the animated movie, it's like
you said, he stars, it's a seal.
Yeah.
It's crabs. It's the fucking dog Max bites her in the ass. Like,
yeah,
like everybody is helping Ariel. In this one, there is absolutely no struggle. Like, yeah, Scuttle tries, you know, but Ariel comes running in and has like this fucking cat fight with Vanessa. And Eric is like, what the fuck is coming over you? What are you doing? You know, what is happening? Like, they're seeing Ariel come in here and fight with this chick. Yeah. Like, people would be like, holy, what is
I was waiting for Ariel to pull out her earrings and things like that. Like, oh, like she's about to throw down.
You
like,
know,
that's how the thing played out.
People would think that, like, this girl is crazy. At least in the animation, she comes in at the very end because Flounder is pulling her to the boat because she can't swim.
Yeah.
She has absolutely nothing to do with that fight with Vanessa. And she climbs on the boat at the very last second when Scuttle rips the necklace off and it lands at her feet and her voice comes out of the shell.
Yeah.
In here, like, it makes Ariel look crazy. It makes her look crazy because she comes in, fights with Vanessa and rips off the necklace and smashes it to the ground. Like, what the hell?
That would release her voice, pretty much.
You know, like, what the heck? And then, like, her voice comes back, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Eric." You know, and she's like, "Yeah, it was me." And Sebastian is finally there, and Sebastian's like, "Hurry up and kiss." Mm-hmm. And they kiss, but she's too late. And she like slinks onto the ground, and the people around her are terrified. They're terrified of her. They're like, oh my God. And I'm pretty sure his mom calls her like a devil or something like that. Like, oh.
Something.
Yeah.
Vanessa was cute, I guess. Like she kind of like kind of resembled how she looked in the animated film a little bit. So at least they got that close to the animated movie. But yeah, like because like basically like it plays into the aversion the humans have to, like, to mer people, pretty much, like how they are like considered like, I don't necessarily want to say evil, but like it's like basically shun them sort of
a
situation.
witch.
Yeah,
A witch. She calls her a witch.
witch.
She
Okay.
called her a witch. But yeah. So like the mom was like, oh, it's a witch. And then the next part plays out just like the animation. She's like, you're too late, and then she turns back into Ursula, and she does I'm sorry, but like the crawling on the floor when Ursula does it in the animation, that looks pretty cool. When Melissa McCarthy does it, it looks terrible. I laughed at it. I was like, oh my god. I laughed at it. So then like Eric goes out, but like Eric is in love with Ariel, he's in love with her. In this one, he's like, okay, I think I'm going to give up he's in love with this girl that he's been searching for. And, he's like, I'm just going to give up the search for this girl and see what happens with Ariel, but so Eric goes out to try and save Ariel from Ursula. Flounder, they get Flounder a job. Flounder is the one. Remember, Sebastian was the one who went to King Triton, because Sebastian was the one who told King Triton everything that's happened. He went to King Triton, and then Flounder swam her to the boat. Yeah. Scuttle went to go install the wedding.
Yeah.
Here, Flounder was the one to go and tell King Triton what happened. Sebastian is doing jack shit.
Yeah.
Sebastian's just with Ariel. Like, he's not doing anything. Sebastian's doing nothing. He's just with Ariel. So King Triton, Ursula takes her down to the water, and she's like, she's like, I'm sorry, girl. You didn't kiss her. You didn't kiss him. You were supposed to kiss him in 3 days. Oh, it's all coming back to you now, huh? Because her spell is worn off. So now Ariel remembers that she did have to kiss the prince in 3 days. And King Triton stops her. And King Triton, again, there's no passion there. In the movie, she's like, Ursula, stop! Let her go.
Yeah.
King Triton's just sad. He's a sad dad. He stops her. He tries to like blast her with his trident.
Yeah.
With his trident. And it's blocked by a shield. She picks up Ariel's fin and is like, look, see, we sealed it with blood magic.
I'm not going to read this thing, but hello. Yeah.
And she was like, she goes, I don't know, I'd maybe be willing to trade. And so he gives her the trident. She gives her the trident. And she points it at Triton and like obliterates him. He's just, she kills him. She kills Triton. And I was like, holy shit, she did that. She just killed Ariel's dad. I was like, oh my God. She just killed King Triton. No fucking way she did that. Like he obliterated. She obliterated him. He's dead. You even see it like his skull and he pops.
Yeah.
I was like, no fucking way they just killed off King Triton. No fucking way.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well,
so then this next part plays out just like the animation. Eric, she's pointing it at Ariel, and Eric comes and he hits her with one of those things. What is it called?
Like a harpoon or something.
A harpoon. He harpoons her in the arm. Yeah. The eels attach themselves to him and are electrocuting him. And she's like, say goodbye to your sweetheart. And she goes to but Ariel, saves him, and she kills her little Flutsman Jetsam. It plays out just like the animation, except that Sebastian and Flounder don't help her. Seriously, her friends are doing jack shit in this. They aren't doing anything to help, because even like they get in on the fight with Ursula too. Sebastian is knocking them in the face with his fin, and Flounder. Flounder's
Yeah.
knocking him in the face with a fin, and Sebastian like he snaps
Like-
him with his claw.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they let Eric loose. But they don't do, and they're not even in this scene.
No.
They're not even there. They don't help Ariel at all. And so then like he makes it onto the boat, and Ariel's like, "Why did you come back?" And he's like, "I wanted to save you."
They get the eels to let him go, and
Yeah,
that's
they get
how
the eels. Yeah,
because
but
like
in
now
here-
it's like here
yeah,
like,
but now like he's just getting electrocuted. Like they don't help. The eels don't let him go. Ariel saves the day by doing that by pulling Ursula's hair and killing the eels.
Yeah.
So then this next part again, it plays out just like the movie. Ursula's upset because her little poopsies are dead, and you see her get mad, and you see it like just all the smoke comes around her because she's getting bigger. She comes out of the water. They're on her head, just like in the animation. It looks so stupid. It looks so dumb. It looks so bad.
That was some of the worst CGI I think I've ever seen.
That CGI was terrible. It is so dark. You cannot see Ursula's face, and for good fucking reason. Good reason, because she looks terrible. The CGI at the end looks terrible. They jump from her crown, and Eric gets stuck in the whirlpool that Ursula made. He gets stuck in the whirlpool. He's hanging on, and Ursula's going to kill him. And Ariel gets on one of she sees the boat, she sees the boat with the thing. She gets on the boat, and she's like crawling. She's crawling to the.
Yeah, because like one of the boats rises up in the whirlpool, and Ariel like sees it as it's rising up under the ocean, and she has this brilliant idea to hang on to that boat, so it like once it breaks the surface, she was on it pretty much, and crawls her way to the wheel because somehow she knows the function of that.
Yeah, she knows the function of the boat. See, it made sense when Eric did it because Eric has been sailing.
Yeah,
he's a sailor, so it makes sense that he knows how to steer the boat because he's been on these boats before. He knows how to do it. He's a human. Ariel has no fucking clue. How does she know that this is where you steer the boat from?
Yeah.
How does she even know this? It doesn't make sense that they traded spots. How does she know that this is how you steer the boat? Eric knows because he's a sailor. He's a human. That's what he does. He's been on boats before. So Ariel like crawls her way, and she can't stand on her fin, which thankfully she doesn't stand on her fucking fin. I would have been pissed. But she like pulls herself up on the steering wheel and like waits until the perfect second, and then
boom!
She pulls the steering wheel in the right direction, and it hits Ursula, and that's how Ursula dies.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And after Ursula dies, the trident falls down to the ground. And Ariel's like looking at the trident, and she's looking at Eric, and she chooses the trident. So she chooses to go back down. And so Eric is stuck, and he has to make his own way. So she chooses to go back down. She picks up the trident. And for some reason, I don't even know how this is possible, but her dad comes back to life.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw that happen, I was like, wait a minute.
Her dad comes back to life.
Again,
this is why you don't take away. In the animated feature, she turns him into one of those little thingies, and when she's dead, all of her magic is gone, all of her power is gone, and everybody turns back into a mermaid.
Yes.
So it makes sense that he comes back.
Which makes sense. That's how he comes back. But literally back from the dead.
Back from the dead, back from being blasted and obliterated, he just comes back.
Yeah.
And then he tells her, like, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry that you had to trade away your voice. And I was just like, oh my God, what is this? So then Ariel is like, it's been days, apparently. It's been days since instead of it being like right after it happened, she sees Eric on land and everything. She's just like looking at him. Instead of it being like the very next day, it's been days. Eric has just been like looking out into the water, and his mom tells her like, our worlds were never meant to be combined, like, that's a different world.
Mhm.
And Eric is just like longing for her. And by the way, when Ursula takes Ariel, keep this in mind, her dress accidentally rips off of a rock, and Ariel like looks behind at the rock, and so now it's like hanging underwater on the rock. Okay.
But now it's
And then it washes up on the shore, I think. Didn't
Yeah.
it wash up on shore next to Eric? Yeah.
somehow
It washes
intact.
up on shore next to Eric. So I guess like Eric just like left it there on the shore. Okay. Because her dad finally decides to like let her go and live in the human world. I can't remember how that happened and why he came to that decision. Because Ariel told her like, Eric helped, save you and save us. Eric helped. She just told him. In the animation, Triton like sees everything because he's this little thingy, right? He's this little creature. And so he's watching everything. He sees that Eric came down there and fought Ursula. He sees that Eric got stuck because he's right there. He sees that Eric got stuck and by Flotsam and Jetsam, and he risked his life to come and save Ariel. He sees all of that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he was like, she loves him. He'll protect her because he sees all of that. He sees how Eric came down and risked his life for his daughter. Here, like, he doesn't see it. Ariel just tells him like Eric came and helped, So yeah, there are some good humans. And so I don't know. He gives her legs, and she somehow found her blue dress. She doesn't have that beautiful sparkly dress. She doesn't have it in this movie. Nope. She doesn't have it. She shows up in that same fucking dress, and it's like rags. She's basically wearing rags. She shows up to him in rags. I was like, wow, what the heck? Wow. They took away her beautiful dress, and they put her in rags.
And they don't even show them getting married like in the animated movie. They don't even show her get like you're to assume that they did, and they're starting their new life together.
Yeah, because his mom tells him like your marriage marks like the beginning of something special or something like that. So they're already married. You don't see that at the end. They're already married, and now they're sailing to go and explore new cities to help their town, to help their kingdom. So they're off to explore. And I was like, oh my God, please show at the very least, have King Triton come up, like let her say goodbye. That moment in the movie was so special, where like he comes up and she's like, I love you, Daddy, and all of the mer people are there and they're waving. I was like, please let them come up. And they finally do. Like they're taking a rowboat to the ship, and Eric stops and he's like he's shocked to see. He's like looking behind Ariel, and Ariel turns around and it's her father, and her father's like, I'm so sorry that I didn't listen to you, that you had to like trade your voice. And I was like, he basically calls himself like a bad dad and says that you were right this whole time. And which is terrible. Like, no, no. Mm-mm. In the animation, it's very simple. I love you, Daddy. He's just saying goodbye to his daughter. That's it. He's just saying goodbye to his daughter. But here he's like, you were right, child.
Yeah.
You were right, child. I should have listened to you, child. I was wrong. And everything that I did to you, I was completely wrong. Me, the parent, I was wrong. I should have listened to you. You knew what you wanted, and you knew that you were supposed to change and transition into a human. And I should have listened to you because you know better, child. And
then all the diverse mer people come up.
Yeah.
And they even have a fat one.
No way.
There was if you look at like the mer people, there was kind of a Lizzo mermaid.
There was not. I did not.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. I'm gonna try to find the site that I watched this on, and I'll try to get a freeze frame on it real fast. It's it's in the background. It's in the background. Hold on.
I did not.
Let me mute myself so the sound comes out real fast, just in case I don't want to hit.
I did not see that. So yeah, so now and this is supposed to be a big emotional scene because none of these mermaids have ever breached the surface since the dad gave the new rule. And he tells her like, we're gonna, I'm taking away that rule or whatever, and we're gonna do that. And so they're all there, and somehow they all like not only breached the surface, but some of them like went on shore. Some of them are like on a rock, and Ariel didn't see any of this. They just kind of like, it all happened. Like they're now, all of them are behind her. It had a better impact.
Real fast.
Oh.
See that woman right there? They had a chubby mermaid. It's like that makes absolutely no sense given the fact that they've used their abs to fucking move their fins.
Yeah. See, look at that one that's sitting on the shoreline. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like another one right there.
It was a lot better because, and some of them were like even on the boat or some shit. But it made sense. You know, it was so much more grand when they're on the ship, because you see all of these mermaids and they're just above the water, because that's where they're you know, they breach the water, and they're just like, they're all waving bye to Ariel and
trying to like use his magic to create a rainbow. Like, you
know, Triton uses his magic to create a rainbow. Like, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
You know? And in here, they're just sort of sitting there, and he's just like,
oh yeah, now we're all one big happy family. All right. Like they're just breaking the surface and like, okay, that happened.
Yeah. And they run away, and he's just like, you were right. I mean, be careful. And Eric does his thing with like they did in the movie. It's better in the movie because he bows. You know, he's standing up and he bows to the king. In this,
he's the animated movie. Yeah.
Yeah, in the animation. Yeah. In this, he's just sitting in the rowboat, and he's just like, you know, they just nod to each other. I'm like, man. And you know, the animation is so much better. Like, it was so much more respectful of him to, you know, he stands up straight and then he bows to King Triton because he's a king. He bows to the king. So, but
and
that's the end. That's the Little Mermaid. It's terrible.
It is, yeah. It very much is terrible. Oh my god. We spent about as much time talking about it as like the length of the movie, pretty much, and it's just. Yeah, I want that time back, but at the same time, it's like I'm glad I literally sailed the high seas to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So because I messaged her when she's like, "Oh, you're gonna watch this." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not paying for it." So that's like, and I stuck to my word pretty much. Yeah, it is a soulless remake. It very like when I say it's lifeless, it is lifeless.
Oh my god, Mara, look at this. Look at this. A fight broke out during The Little Mermaid.
Oh my god. Wow.
A fight broke out during the.
You know what's like ironic? This is like, remember when Joker came out and people were worried that it would cause like an uprising in violence, and the only incident of violence that occurred was at a showing of Frozen 2.
Yeah, another fight breaking out in another Disney film.
Not another Disney film. Oh my god. But yeah, that is the live action Little Mermaid, folks. And if you have not watched it,
I give it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. It's like worse than mid. It is worse than mid.
It's not even mid.
It's not. Yeah, it's worse than mid.
Yeah.
Worse than mid. So if you have not watched it yet, don't bother. Even sailing the high seas, don't bother. You will not get that time back. Is that shit is nightmare fuel? Yeah, pretty much. Like, do you want to punch us? No, but yeah, I might write like 2, 3 out of 10. Like, there are like some moments where like fleeting moments where it's like, okay, there's a little effort there. I can kind of get into this, but for the most part, it's like everything took me out of this movie. Everything, like, literally, like the movie went out of its way to beat me over the head with how soulless it was, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like nothing at all, and any of the dialogue made sense because it was like such leaps of conclusions at times. Yeah, so it's like now I get to look forward to Barbie movie. So
Barbie. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I don't mind.
that comes out in July, right? That comes out in July, like late July or something.
Here you go, chat. This is just some of the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to share sound, but yeah, like this is
Oh, did I not share sound?
I'm not hearing anything, but I don't know if you want to, pretty much, because I don't know, might get hits.
Yeah, I shared audio.
Okay, like it wasn't coming through on my end, but here, let's try it again.
Hey, Flounder.
Okay, there it goes.
What are you talking about?
So Sebastian told Triton that Ariel saved the human and Triton got
Okay. Explanations later, man. We got to get you out.
He's like fucking dying.
the sea witch.
Bye-bye. And don't tell anyone about the sea witch.
Aries.
Yeah.
Is that Aries?
Ever.
Aries.
Let's go. We got it. The gossip, the buzz. So who said but who does say yeah, I told you so. Let's go. So we gotta go before the sun goes down. Well, gotta get ready for the big showdown. Right, go ahead and get ready.
Yeah.
That's Little Mermaid.
Yeah. That is the live action Little Mermaid, Heath Nation. We like literally broke down our
The
thoughts
entire
on
movie.
this shit show.
All right.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I can say about this crap fest other than
It was
don't
3 out of
bother-
10.
Don't bother watching it.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Not even to sail the high seas or anything like that. Because, like I said, you will not get that time back. You will not get that time back. Do not watch this. If anything, I saw Sisu in the theaters. That's worth a watch, pretty much. The new Evil Dead movie. So yeah, but anyway, I'm like, it's like 11:15, so we are gonna wrap it up here. We pretty much literally talked about this fucking movie for the length of the fucking movie, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so next week it'll be on Steph's channel, and just to let you know now, Steph, if you have to move it to Sunday, we're not playing D&D next week. I want to say because we're not all able to be there. So if we have to move it to Sunday, I should be pretty much free. But yeah, but it will be on her channel either Saturday evening or Sunday afternoon, depending on what is happening this weekend. So Steph, if you have any soul left, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all the same name, My Nerdy Home. Oh, and on Twitch and Kick. I started a Kick, so just search My Nerdy Home. You'll find it all.
Yep. So this is her Twitch. This is my Twitch. I have the name branding issue essentially. This is her YouTube. This is my live channel YouTube. And I have a Kick as well. I'll be streaming there tomorrow. I'm going to be playing the remastered Spider-Man game in preparation for Spider-Man 2 dropping later this year. So I'm going to be playing that tomorrow. I'll be doing like Spidey Sundays on Kick. So that's the plan. Nice. I'll be switching off between Kick and Twitch throughout the week. Look for videos I try to put out during the week, as well as other streams. And but the first full week of June, I'm taking a break from making videos because I need to decompress. So beginning the week of June 4th, I'll just be streaming because I'll need to basically relax during the day. But that's it. That is it. So I'm gonna go drink myself into a stupor and then pass out. So have a good rest of your day or evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are in the world, and we will see you all next week for an actual talk nerdy that we won't hate each other afterwards.
Yeah.
Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.